What's up, Fight Bananas Land? How is everyone doing? Was it Tuesday night around 9 o'clock on the East Coast? I'm Dave Van Auken. Man, not one legend in the building, two legends in the building. Let's go to the left. Old school OG Fight Bananas, man. Ryan, the mighty Quinn. What's up, brother? What's up, Ryan?
I am happy to be here. I'm happy to be back. It was tough to leave. I'm so happy I'm back. It's good to see you. How you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. We're rolling. I was in soccer all night tonight. I got the kids running up and down the damn field. The pitch. They call it the pitch. So we're doing all right. Another legend downstairs there wearing that Phil Rowe original. I think he made around 20 in the building. They sold like hotcakes. Dean Thomas, brother, what's up? How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm so impressed. Like at the start of the show, you had the graphics, the intro. I'm a bit jealous. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We got that old price gear. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm texting I'm chat GBT and screenshotting it to Dean. He's like, you could save the video, right?
I love it, man. Hey,
but no, man, it's good to be here, man. I appreciate you. Thank you for having us on. And yeah, man, it's all good.
Yeah, man, I love it, man. It's crazy. We right before you came on, DM, not in line. Like I love this little studio. It's actually great. I am Fight Bananas. We're doing good, man. We had our best season yet. We keep on growing and getting bigger somehow, some way. I'm literally moving up. I'm getting out of this studio, getting into a bigger studio. Ryan, right across the way. So I'm kind of unpacking some things, and I found some old school stuff. We got like a 2018, 17 Island Fights, Dean Thomas Love. I got that one.
Look at that. I'm still swagging though. You know, man.
I know. We got some new school. There, yeah. We got that Karate Combat new school. And then Ryan, I didn't forget about you, brother. All right. We got some, look at this. We got some 4 years ago stuff. Me, you, and LATT.
That was 4 years ago already? It's the same shirt. I wear the same shirt.
Come on.
Man, you ain't got no swag.
Oh my God.
Come on, Ryan. You gotta get swag, bro. Come on.
I'll wear that tomorrow to work.
Oh man.
Hey, man, we're doing good. We're doing all right. So let's talk about you two men first. Let's talk about why we are kind of doing this. And you know me, I'll love to chat with you anytime, any place. But we got some cool things to talk about. But first, let's kind of talk about the fight court. I love the origin stories. How did it come to be? Where is it at? And then we got a cool, fun announcement, Ryan. We can kind of break right here together. Yeah. So let's you guys take it away. How did the fight court come to be?
Well, so at the time when we first started, I was doing a lot of YouTube stuff. I was doing some calling some fights and just doing a lot of MMA media. Obviously, Dean was doing it, and even before we were both doing MMA media, like I would always text Dean just back and forth, just trivial stuff on breaking down fight technique and everything like that. And it just, I don't have it like. Can't think. And then we slowly talked about doing a podcast together and, you know what? Fight Court, let's just do it. And then, Dean came up with the name. We're going to call it Fight Court. And then we had this layout with this format where it was going to be a debate show. And we still, we obviously debate still, but not in the format we had it. And that's kind of what we do. We work very well with each other as far as agreeing to disagree and sticking it. And, I'm the handsome one. Anyway.
Wait a minute. So I can't let you tell the story that way. I can't let you tell the story that way because you are neglecting a very important part, and that is Natalia Rivera.
Yes.
And I want to give her props because the idea of doing a debate show was really her idea. Like she wanted to do a debate show and she was really into it. And she was really the one who was the gas to this thing. She was really pumping and pushing us to do this. And cause me, man, I'm lazy. So I'm like, yo,
come on.
But she was kind of pushing it. And then we started getting rolling. And the problem is she lived in Peru and Mexico and doing all this other crazy stuff. So she was just having a hard time fulfilling the obligations of being on the show often. So I still consider her a very important part of the show. She just don't be on the show that much.
She was a big part of it. I just wasn't sure to bring it up or not. She was a big. If you go on our YouTube channel, she's still in the main picture. She's still Natalia's great. She's a lot of fun to work with.
And I know she's great to work with, but she don't be around. She tripping. You know what I'm saying? She tripping. And I know Ryan didn't want to say that. So I'm gonna say it. She be tripping.
Right before you came on, Dean, and dude, we've been talking for a long time. Of course, Jillian the Savage Robertson will come up sooner or later organically, or I will just pigeonhole her into the show. But like, I've been after this thing or at this thing for a minute, and like I get asked all the time. It's crazy, man. I was just at the Canelo fight a week and a half ago, and it blows my mind that kind of people will come up to me and like Fight Bananas will come up, or they'll ask me how'd you start or how'd you get here? And it's like, I just kind of what you were just saying about her. Maybe the opposite. I just show up. Every goddamn week. I'm here every Tuesday. I do nightly shows. Fight Bananas. We break new. I just keep showing up. I just keep on doing stuff, and I don't know. It's the little engine that could.
And I gotta tell you, and that's like why me and Ryan stuck with it, because that was important for me. I was like, regardless of whether we have content ideas or something intriguing and fun, we're just going to show up and just record.
Yeah.
And if no one cares, we're just still going to do it because we get used to it. And Ryan, like clockwork, is on time every damn time. And man, God forbid, even today, David, God forbid I am 3 seconds late. My man be like, yo, man, send me the link.
He's not telling the full story. See, that's the problem, is he doesn't give the full story. I was like, shit, that's all. Wait, what if he thought just we were doing 9 o'clock with Dave and not Fight Court? And I was
was that it?
Yeah.
Okay, I give him credit for that. All right. But I got to be honest, though. Ryan does keep me in check. He keeps me on task and in front of the camera. So, props to him for that.
Well, thank you. Well, I appreciate your intellectualism and your humor, because I don't have either. And that's why it works.
We know that. That's why I'm on the show.
Yeah, the yin and the yang, right there. The yin and the yang. So with that being said, Fight Court, all the content on the YouTube channel, go check that out. But kind of maybe the main reason why we're here, but like I said, I love talking MMA, and there's multiple things going on. There's a UFC in Paris this weekend, a major pay-per-view happening in around 12, 13 days. I was just at the Canelo fight, the Sphere. There's so much, right, that we can just bounce and bounce and bounce. But the main reason why we're here is where does the audio go from the Fight Court? What happens to the audio, and what's going to happen now? Brian?
Well, where it goes is in outer space. We got
right in the garbage.
yeah. Well, audio, what's that? But no, we're here. We're really excited to announce that we're going to be teaming up with Fight Court. We're going to be back under the Fight Court umbrella. I'm going to be back under the Fight Court umbrella. Fight Bananas umbrella. And Fight Court with audio will be on all the platforms for Fight Bananas. Really pumped about that. Really happy to be teaming up with you guys.
Cool. Oh, I love that. Yeah, you guys send me that logo. You guys send me the logo. We'll make that happen, man. Yeah, it's awesome. It's we're excited. I kind of talked to the team. I called my peeps who it's so funny. I literally right before I got on, I go, what? Wait, Dean Thomas is talking with my Dean. I'm like, Dean's talking with my Dean. So I saw you guys were on it this afternoon today.
Yeah. I had Dean Toole on the show today on Sirius XM, as well as Brandon Allen, who is fighting at UFC in Paris. Yeah. So so I do the show Sirius XM, but the good thing is, right, I do the show on Sirius XM, and then I'm able to collect all my strongest thoughts and put it together, and then do a Fight Court episode. That's why I get all my hottest stuff be on Fight Court, because I'm able to kind of workshop it on Sirius XM.
He always name drops. So I was just on Rogan's show. So I was just talking to Cormier, like, oh, I'm a recruiter.
Just talking to Cormier and Matt Serra. Sorry, guys.
Hey, this is a good one. Dude, like I said, we're gonna pigeonhole her on the show for sure. Are we ever gonna see Jillian versus Angela Hill scrap? Dean?
I can tell you. So after Jillian won her last fight, Mick Maynard was like, "Yo, let's." Like the very next day, he's like, "Hey, how about Jillian and Angela Hill and next month?" And Jillian was just like, "Absolutely not." And this is one of them situations. Me and Ryan just talked about this on our show about coaching and the relationship between coaches and fighters after we saw the little debacle between Tim Welch and Sean O'Malley.
Yes.
And it comes down to really good communication. And this is one of the things that me and Jillian have been working on over the years, just being able to communicate, her saying her part, me saying my part, and us communicating. And one thing now that I'm listening to her on fully is that when she can't make a weight, when she's not comfortable with making a weight in a certain time limit, the fight is off. It's not even a question.
Right.
So when Mick Maynard asked for that fight to happen, it was too soon for her to make the weight, so she declined it. It ended up going to Tabitha Ricci. Jillian has a fight scheduled, Luana Pinheiro. She's going to win that fight, which means that Angela Hill is probably out of the question now. But Jillian wanted the Angela Hill fight, but now after Angela Hill just lost, Jillian wants another. She's going to want another fight.
Well, us, I think, are pretty decent at what we're doing here, talking and shows and all that stuff. It is a beautiful transition into maybe our first topic. And I talked to Ryan Quinn off air about it. Always, we pull off the black curtain every single time here on this goddamn show. Guys, if we could change any rule in all of mixed martial arts, or if we can kind of change anything, we can put that little pixie dust on anything, what would you change? And I'm just going to, there you go. I'm going to jump into it first. I'm going to jump first. My number one thing, and I heard it a couple of days ago, and I've been on it for years, but I heard it with Anik and Florian were talking about it, would be the weight cut, this weight cut. And Jillian the Savage Robertson, right, very close to both of us, talk, weekly, daily, all this stuff. And it's not that Jillian needs to fight at 115. It's not that she needs to. It's her opponents are absolute freak of nature monsters that are coming from 150 down to 125. Maybe some of them, Talia Santos is on some juicy juice, and you know what I mean? They're just, it's a different type of fighter that Jillian would fight at 115. So that would be my biggest thing is I wish that just never came to be, that amateur wrestling aspect never came to be, that people would be like, hey, like I walk around 182, 178, I'm a welterweight. That's not the case. They would be lightweights. I just wish that weight cut era or that weight cut transition into mixed martial arts just never happened, and people would fight more at their natural weight where they should be.
Ryan, I'll let you go next.
Yeah, that's a little complicated. Look at boxing, how many weight classes they have. Compared, MMA is getting better.
For sure.
But and I know, everyone says, oh, amateur wrestling. I think the reason why people think amateur wrestlers cut weight so well is because they do it so often in a season. But if I had to cut 10 pounds or 8 pounds in a night in MMA and wrestling, that was a shit ton. It was usually 2 or 3 pounds. And a whole lot of people don't cut a whole ton of weight like MMA, like 20 pounds in the last day. It's not as common. It happens, not as common. But, some athletic commissions have tried to get on top of this. I know California, if you actually look at their sanctioned weight classes, it's not what's in line with the UFC and PFL. It's completely different. Same with Connecticut. But the UFC and all the other promotions, they do what they want. And right now, the theme and the label is the 170, the 185, the 205, and 55, 40, whatever the case. So, I mean, I'm all about changing those weight classes. One thing I wish there was a 165-pound weight class for me personally, because that keeps the 200-pounders from coming down to welterweight. And I know me, I was just so short at 170, but I was I was killing myself to get to 55.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I know I answered half of that. Dean, I'll let you have the second part of that.
All right. So the weight cutting thing for me, and I'm going to speak for me, I'm going to take some accountability for the Jillian Robertson thing of her going down in weight. And that was because eventually I'd like to see her go back up. But I think that we went down in weight because she wasn't good enough. Her skill set wasn't good enough to deal with the bigger girls at the time. Now, as we're getting better and progressing daily, she's getting better.
Yeah.
I would like to see her go back up, actually, if that's in the cards. But
after this run, after this run. But the key now is, she's dealing with smaller women, and it's a little easier to make mistakes
with smaller women and not pay the price. So, but as she progresses and gets to be a better fighter, I would like to see her go back up, because I don't like to ever use weight as an issue, as an excuse. And to your point, because of that, I think that we should do away with the weight cutting, because it's too much of an excuse, and it ruins performances, because people are cutting too much weight. It ruins performance.
Like it's not even me. Like I'm the farthest from it. You guys are the professionals. You guys have done it. I talk for a living, right? So it's like, it's not the different amount of weight classes. And yeah, boxing, it's wild. I've been super anti, but like boxing that I'll jump into boxing in a second in a pro matter with it. But it's just the idea of like Habib or Makhachev, right? Like, it's like, guys, like, that term weight bully, just imagine if they were just like, imagine if Makhachev was a welterweight, like he would still have to cut weight. He would be a good sized welterweight, but he is ginormous as a lightweight. He's the best lightweight in the world, maybe the best pound for pound fighter in the world. If that just never came to be, it's a part of the sport now. It's so ingrained into mixed martial arts. It's never going away, but I just wish that just wasn't ingrained in our sport.
Right, me too. Now, to answer my question on what rule I would like to see change, or I would like to see open scoring.
Yeah, love it.
Open scoring for sure. I just worked the Karate Combat event over the weekend in Singapore, and they have open scoring. And when the round starts, the lady, the famous lady from Japan, is like, that one. Yeah. Well, she announces the score in between rounds, and you see fighters go, "Oh, I'm losing. Yeah. I got to do something about this."
Right.
And that's the way it should be, man. That's honestly, it's the way it should be. Like, you should know going into your rounds what the score is.
Any sport on this planet, you watch the Super Bowl, the NBA Finals, you watch hockey. If you're white, you watch hockey. What, you know the score? You see the score the whole game. It's wild to me. We used to smoke cigarettes on airplanes. Like, come on, guys, this is 2024. How do we not know the score going into round 5, especially of a championship fight? It is, when it happens, we're going to look back on it and be like, what the hell were we thinking? Like, as a community of MMA, like, what were we thinking?
Well, the problem is that when fighting is still a relatively new sport. Sure. When it first started, it was all about the eye test, because guys were either really good or really bad. And if you were getting your ass kicked, you could see it. And it was very easy to see. But now that it's so competitive, it comes down to little things, and we don't sometimes know what those little things are in terms of what the judges is looking for and what they're scoring. We deserve to know. We deserve to know what the score is and what they're scoring it, because you can't do it from the eye test anymore, because everyone is so competitive.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more. Right?
Yeah, it's time for open scoring. Dean and I are working on a debate with 2 high-level officials that when that happens, we're looking forward about why it should. They're going to debate why it shouldn't. I agree with Joe Rogan that the entire scoring system needs to be uplifted, and the in-fight scoring, and they need to implement every style, and because right now what they're doing, this is why, like, I get it, they're unifying. On paper it looks fantastic, but clearly there's too much wiggle room. Even with the open scoring, there's still too much bullshit that we can't figure out. Like, I get what they're scoring, but you know why? You know what? I remember when Paddy Pimblett beat what's his name? The fight,
Eric Gordon.
Yeah, I remember. I'm like, they're gonna screw him, and the sad part is, I could see why. That's because they're not really scoring a fight; they're scoring this game. Where, like, I know it's a sport, but it's a fight. To Joe Rogan's point is, he wants to score what jiu-jitsu, so to implement jiu-jitsu, to implement Muay Thai, boxing, wrestling, and like just throw massive tallies for each fighter on it. That's what, like, they're kind of looking at. I think they got to figure that out, because that's fantastic. I know, it's about putting the danger, but you know what? If I'm holding some guy down, I'm doing more danger to him than if he's doing nothing in the guard. That's what it is.
Just anything, like if we're walking down the street and we get into a scuffle, I don't know how many scuffles we all been in the street. Sooner or later, 9 out of 10, they do get on the ground. Like they scuffle and they fall. If you can hold another man down, or if it's a female fight, you can hold another female down and you can do what you want and she can't get up.
They got to get
the
up.
most
Exactly.
dominating feeling in the world. Like
they got to get up. Like you just said, they got to get up. You don't want to be
crazy.
there.
It's crazy that gets frowned upon.
Well, can I offer an honorable mention on a rule change?
Yeah.
I would like to see knees, not soccer kicks, but knees to the head of a downed opponent.
I prefer
soccer. I think
knees.
Yeah, Ryan's like, oh, I like soccer kicks. No, but knees to the head, because I think by not allowing knees to the head, it killed the guard. Because now guys can rest in a turtle position and rest there until they work their way back up. But if you were allowed to knee a guy in the head, he would have to resort to going back to his guard to defend himself. And then guard play would be much more interesting. But it's not interesting anymore because no one believes in it.
Tito Ortiz made a career of front headlocks and cradles and kneeing people in the head. And that should be illegal. That should be legal.
I think it should be legal.
Yeah. I love it. All right. Couple more things and we'll let, I know it's late. We'll let a couple people run. I told you I was going to squeeze boxing in a good way. And I know, Dean, on a Saturday night, you're usually somewhere else. You're at the Sphere. You're at UFC, wherever they're at. I've always been a boxing fan, right? It's combat sports. If it's like I said, if it's volleyball or boxing, I'm going to watch boxing. But I'm telling you guys, 2 mega events in the last 3 months. I was in Las Vegas, MGM Grand, 100th event ever under that umbrella, the Tank Davis fight. Tank Davis is a budding superstar. Amazing. And then, of course, last weekend I was in Vegas all week. I went to the Fight Bananas, got Canelo great media credentials. We went to the Canelo fight, Mexican Independence Day. Canelo, Mexican, living legend. Guys, when I tell you I was so impressed, I've been to Super Bowls, I've been to UFC events, I've been to NBA finals, especially both events. And I know those were big ones, right? Tank Davis, Las Vegas, MGM Grand, 100th edition. Canelo, Mexican Independence Day, T-Mobile. But the buildings are outrageous. I am so impressed by both events. Of course, a couple days ago, there's Dana, Turk, boxing. It's happening. Guys, I'm telling you, if I had stock, if I could just be like, hey, I want to put my money, my girl's college education fund into the sport of boxing going like this for the next 10 years, I'm telling you, boxing's on the come up. Come up.
I think it's on the come up, and boxing guys are going to hate me for this.
Yeah.
But it's on the come up, riding the coattails of the stardom of MMA.
Ooh.
It's because MMA has had this ability to put the fights on that we've all wanted to see. It forced boxers to put on fights that they wanted to see.
Right.
Otherwise, they wouldn't have been fighting the top fights. We wouldn't have gotten the top fights.
Right.
We would have never got some of the fights that we got if it wasn't for the UFC going, hey man, we're delivering. We're giving the fans what they want.
Or even more specifically, Dean, Francis Ngannou crossing over there and putting some eyes on boxing.
Yeah.
I mean, he helped.
I think Francis kind of got a bad rap too. I mean, Francis did well against Tyson Fury. Everybody called it a fluke. Then he goes out there and he gets beat up by Anthony Joshua. But then we just saw Anthony Joshua get beat up over the weekend. And then we're just kind of like, are we just going to ignore that he got beat up too? I mean, listen, we're talking about fighting. People get beat up.
Yeah.
That's just the way it's not necessarily because Francis is just that bad. I mean, he showed that he was pretty good against Tyson Fury. He just got beat up. People get beat up in fights.
If you're in the game long enough, and there's only been one, only Habib did it and left and all that stuff. If you're in the game long enough, you're going to get beat up. You will be the nail sooner or later. It just will happen. If Makhachev keeps doing this, Arman's going to catch him, or not Arman. He's going to do it. And then freaking Gaethje will get in there and the uppercut will land, whatever it is. If you stay in this game long enough, like you said, they're just too, all these opponents, all these guys are too damn good. All these young guys are insane, high level and every attribute. Sooner or later, you're going to be the nail. You will happen. Sean O'Malley, right? Like, you look great. After the fight happened, you're like, yeah. We all knew that was going to happen with Merab and Sugar, but Sean O'Malley was the betting favorite going into Saturday night at the Sphere a couple weeks ago. He was the betting favorite.
But and then it's also to the unknown circumstances, and that is, what's going on in this guy's life that we don't know about.
Yeah, of course.
So we don't always know that. It's easy to look at film and tape and go, "Oh, Sean O'Malley's so great," or "This fighter is so great," but we don't know what's going on in their life right now that's going to distract them from putting on a great performance.
With that being said, Dean, this is just a really honest, organic question. Is what we do here on the show, right? In Fight Finesse Land. And, we talked about it on air. We talked about it off air. Did you know it was Jacksonville 8 months ago, that day or the day before, did you like, fuck, maybe we should not do this. Maybe we shouldn't do this. When, the weight cut and she said she was just off and
when Jillian fought, when she fought Tabitha Ricci.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I knew prior to that, actually. In fact,
really,
yeah, for sure. I mean, we talked about this. I can't stress it enough. The relationship between coach and fighter. So it's such an interesting dynamic. I mean, we had arguments leading up into that, and I really wanted her to pull out, but she's just such a fighter that she wouldn't pull out. Like she agreed to it and was like, I agreed to this and I'm going to do it because I'm a fighter. Yeah, and I'm like, I'm with you then. But I didn't think she should have did it. Like halfway through the camp, it just wasn't going well. And I'm like, we can pull out. No, I'm not pulling out. I said, that's what I said to my baby's mama.
Come on. All right.
I know I'm keeping it clean.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to here. Kind of want to say that I went to a one-on-one event at the Sphere, but with all the great success, especially on social media and Gate, do you think the UFC will do another event at the Sphere? Boys?
Brian, you want to take this?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that they said no, and Dean and I went into went in pretty deep on this. It wasn't just the UFC that was there. Like it was also celebrating Mexican independence. So for them to go there, they're not going to go there just for any fight again. Even if it's International Fight Week, there's no theme. They're going to need another kind of holiday. And really, what holidays? Really, what 4th of July? Labor Day. Nobody wants to see Christmas themed UFC event. So it's like, what are you going to go there for? Yeah.
No, Ryan, you are 100% wrong. Dricus Duplessis is going to headline at the Sphere during Black History Month. I'm telling you, that's what it's going to be.
What are the videos?
Aljamain Sterling, O'Day Osborne, Phil Rowe,
an all black card and Dricus.
Usman's going to be on it, and then the main event, Dricus.
Yep. No, but on the real, I do think the UFC is going to go back because I do realize, once you do something, it becomes easier. And I think that they realized that, okay, we can do this now. We can cut some corners in some areas. Maybe it doesn't have to be as big as we did it before, but we can cut some corners and do another event here. I think that if they can legally do it, I know they have a deal with the MGM and T-Mobile.
I was going to say that's the big thing. That's the big thing.
I think that's the big thing, but I think in terms of logistics, I think that they're convinced that they can do. I mean, and I got to tell you, man, and people think I'm biased. Yes, I am damn biased towards the UFC.
Sure.
When you are have you ever been to the Apex and watched like the operations at the Apex? Like if you're ever at the Apex and you watch the operations team, there's hundreds of people working to ensure that we get good quality MMA fights every week. And not only just MMA, but now they're doing like power slap and all this other stuff. But the fact that they were able to pull that off and still do fights leading up to it and after it, like just tirelessly working. Like I got a lot of respect for that, man. I have a lot of respect for how hard they work, and that's never lost on me, which is why I speak so highly of the UFC. Call me what you want, bootlicker or whatever, but a lot of people are employed because of what the UFC is doing. Not just fighters, but production and everybody.
Not even that. I'll double down on something. I don't even go to the events yet. I'm not one of those guys that goes to every UFC event doing media. One day, hopefully I will. Not yet. But Fight Bananas itself, we make money. We generate revenue by covering the UFC from afar. We talk about it. We do live shows. We post about it. Meta pays Fight Bananas because of us covering the UFC. So like, to triple down what you just said, like, I don't understand the angst or the sometimes the tilt, the hate towards the Ultimate Fighting Championship when we're all like, I say it all the time. Anytime there's a goddamn, big Conor fight, there's anything our numbers go like this, or when our numbers go like that, we get paid more. Like, I don't understand the angst towards them at all. I don't get it.
It's, what it is? It's jealousy from other competitors, and it's these fans trying to think that they know something. No, the real fights are over here when they don't really know shit, is what it comes down to. The UFC, and this is tough for me to say, is they've surpassed the Yankees, because when people think of mixed martial arts, they think, an Ultimate Fighter. When people say baseball, they don't say, you're watching the Yankees for every game, and it's more like, huh?
You do UFC?
Yeah, you do UFC. You don't do Yankees. Are you playing Yankees? But it's more in line with, like, instead of saying tissue, everyone says Kleenex when Kleenex is the brand. That's what the UFC is in MMA and as a brand as a whole. And nothing else in any other sport has capitalized like that.
Couldn't agree more.
And for good reason too. I'm telling you, when I tell you, because I'm not pro fighter really. I'm pro MMA. At the end of the day, I'm pro MMA.
Okay.
I'm in the gym with. I'm down at the Go Shed today. Not one UFC fighter in there. Just a bunch of young kids struggling to try to make it, trying to have a career in MMA, and I'm trying to help them.
Right.
So I'm pro MMA in that sense. Not that I'm anti-fighter, but like, I'm not pro UFC fighter. I'm pro MMA. Whether you're a fighter or work from the media side or whatever it is that you want to do, I want to see you succeed, because I've done it. Like, I've been involved in MMA since the 90s, and I'm still here, and I'm still relevant, and I'm still doing it. So I want to try to pass that on and help everybody out. So speaking of, I'm going to see if I can't put in some good words to help get you some passes to the UFC. I know people that know people at the UFC. I can put in a good word, but I'm just so.
But look at this picture, man. Look at these two good-looking dudes. 2019, man. 2018.
I know.
I've known him for like 15 years. He's never made that offer to me. So you should.
You don't know how to act when you get around people, man. You be trying to ask for autographs from Dana and all that stuff. Come on, man.
Dean knows what's up.
But no, but the reality is I see a lot of people that are relying upon the UFC, from like editors, and just like, I have a lot of friends that do editing and do videos and just work in the UFC, and just even like the security guys. Like, I'm friends with all these guys that are employed because the UFC needs them to run like the well-oiled machine that it is. And it has nothing to do with the fighters, but the organization, the ecosystem that the UFC has created is just tremendous. And I'm happy to be a part of that.
I got another kind of one right towards you, Dean. Ryan, course, jump in. And guys, if you guys got to go, just say, hey, Dave, stop asking me damn questions, and we'll call it a night. But you just mentioned something that just popped in my head. I think I'm pretty decent at what I do. So like you mentioned, you're still at the GOAT, and there's some young, hungry fighters, right? And I'm like, man, it's amazing that Dean Thomas, all these years, all the struggles, everything you've been through, where you're at now, you're working in the UFC, you're doing all this. And you had a great post on your IG, maybe a week or two ago. And you're like, hey, Sean Brady, join the Savage Robertson. After these runs, I'm done. Like, that's it. I'm calling it. And maybe it's social stuff. Maybe it's you being funny or ironic, or maybe not. But my question is, do you still get those feelings, the butterflies? Like I said, I just walked in the Canelo fight, T-Mobile. Like, every single time I walk into anything, I commentate where Island fights, the same chair you sat in 6 years ago. I get the butterflies every single fucking time. I'm like, I'm excited to be here. I'm thrilled to be a part of it. 1% of anything I do. So when you're training these young and up and guys fighting for Fury, do you still get those like, hell yeah, like, man, I'm in this with sweating with you?
Yeah, I get excited for them. Now, just to clarify what I meant about that post is my level of commitment that I have towards those two because they're in a run. So I am committing to them.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to do what I got to do to ensure that they reach their potential. But after that, I'm still going to help fighters, but I'm not going to commit to them the way I'm committing to these two. I'm still going to help.
What's their potential?
They both have the potential to be champs.
Let's go.
They really do. But again, there's just so many unknown circumstances and timing and matchups and injury. There's so many things that has to happen for them to be champ. So, but I'm gonna see it out with them. I'm gonna see it out with them and see where they can get. And then after that, my commitment towards like fighting, like any singular fighter, is gonna be like, all right, I can consult with you, I can help out a little bit, but I am not going on fight week with you and hanging out with you during fight week. We can, because I do that with a lot of fighters. I still consult with Aljamain Sterling and Randy Brown and some other guys, but no, I'm not committing to guys like I am Jillian and Sean Brady after that.
I love it. Ryan, you still get those butterflies?
You know, I feel like with me, it's I'm just so happy to still be involved in some aspect. Like it's just I've been involved in this sport for my entire adult life, and I stepped away for a little while, and I wasn't the same, you know, after COVID and everything. And but it's like brushing your teeth. It's just you do it every day. You just party every day. I still just jiu-jitsu and this, and, you know, doing commentary. Just it's that's MMA every day.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
No, I was gonna say, and there's some truth to what you're saying, and this is where I can kind of get lost in some moments is when I'm working on like a really big pay-per-view, like even like Noche. We were at Noche, and I get to the Sphere, the venue, and I'm just like, we don't even get to see it yet. We're like going through the back, and then Joe Rogan comes in with his team, and Daniel Cormier's there with Cassandra, and like there's this energy amongst us, John Anik, and we're just like all excited, and there is like there's an aura and an energy around us, thinking like, oh man, this is going to be great. This is going to be different, and I get those butterflies during the big cards like that every so often.
Yeah, it's I'm telling like you know, off air I was just talking to Ryan like our summer Fight Banana Summers has been our best yet. Just different shows and opportunities and different gigs and just what we're doing, and it's crazy. It's crazy. This little engine that could, man. We just keep on rolling and rolling.
Keep doing guys, great work.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, guys. 40 minutes in. Who wins, Moicano or does Benoit Saint Denis? Does he get back on that winning way, or can Moicano can he pull off the upset?
Ryan, what you think? I like to let Ryan go first.
Yeah, why you always gotta let me go? I was just.
I mean, I can go if you want.
No, I think that if Moicano's gonna pull that off, we're gonna know real soon. We're gonna real early. Like, and I'm not talking like he's gonna knock him out first, but we got to see if he can keep his range in that fight. So.
Okay.
But that's
after Dean goes. I got something on that. That's funny you say that. But Dean goes.
Right. So here's my theory on the UFC and guys fighting at home. I feel like when the UFC puts hometown fighters on the card, they be getting their ass kicked. I feel like that, man. Like even in Noche, them boys went 2-5, and that's being generous because they really went 1-6. But I'm giving Raul Rosas Jr. his props for being a Mexican, even though he was born in America. But I just feel like the UFC, they don't do guys good at home. And I feel like Moicano's going to go out there, and I think he's going to weather the storm. Storm. Yeah.
Yes.
And he's going to choke Saint Denis out. And then he's going to get on the mic and just give us brilliance on the mic.
Just gems, just Patty, everyone just come out there. So that's so funny that I'm Dean the same way. So Ryan, like, you know, much I love and respect you and your takes on it. I agree the opposite. I think Benoit is going to 10-8 him in the first round, 10-7 him. And he could, like, if the ref jumps in, it's like, okay, he jumps in. I think Moicano is going to get smashed early and just kind of almost like the Jalen Turner thing. Like he just kind of veteran, just kind of stayed in there. He's tough as hell. He literally eats steak, medium rare, right? He's just going to be tough as hell. And then second round, third round, fourth round. Benoit, like, this is not, he's never been there in the fourth round.
Wait, eating steak medium rare makes you tough?
Yeah. Doesn't it?
Yeah,
I
man.
eat it medium rare.
Especially if you eat it with your hands.
Oh, I don't eat it with my hands. I ain't there yet.
Eat it with your hands.
I'm not there yet.
And then is our boy Brandon Allen, is he going to get the win? Big fight for him. Imanoff is on a run, co-main event.
I like him in that fight.
Brandon Allen's beating up Vettori in the casino.
Hey, that wasn't him, bro. That wasn't him. That wasn't him.
I feel like Imavov.
He messaged me the next day. He's like, Dave. He's like, it wasn't me. I was like, bro, I got video of you. He's like it wasn't me.
I feel like Imavov hasn't been the same fighter. Like he still can't believe he lost to Sean Strickland on short notice or something. Like he hasn't been the same fighter since before that. I like Brandon Allen in that fight.
Okay.
I'm rooting for Brandon Allen. I'm hoping that Brandon Allen wins. I think he can win. I think he just has to 3 rounds. I think Imavov is really tough in 3 rounds though. So and I asked Brandon about that. I said, Brandon wanted 5.
Yeah.
And Imavov didn't want 5. There's something about a guy who doesn't want 5.
Yeah.
Something about that. Yeah. So he's tough in 3, but I'm hoping Brandon Allen can pull this off.
I love it. I love it. Like I said, I can go on for hours and hours, but guys, the Fight Court, Ryan Quinn, Dean Thomas. Hey, how do you watch your show? What time does it go on? What days? Speak to the people.
Yeah, Dean, when does it go on?
So
you guys go live or you guys record?
No, we record,
okay.
And then I put it up probably a couple weeks after we record, so that it's not time sensitive.
You got the No J preview on there, not yet, not out there.
Yeah, we're coming out with the picks to UFC 300 on Friday, so tune in.
I got Gaethje in a landslide. Gaethje in a landslide.
Like 3 old ass episodes in one night.
Yeah.
I love it.
I try to do better. Well, no. So here's, to be honest,
we're like AMC of MMA.
Yeah. No. Now, because we simplified the show a little bit, we simplified it. Now that Natalia hasn't been on, we simplified it a bit. It's easier to edit it and put it up sooner. So I try to put them out on Wednesday. So make sure y'all check that on Wednesdays. It's on YouTube under the Fight Court. So check us out.
There you go. Check it out. And then we're going to get the audio ripped. We're going to put that under the Fight Bananas banner. We're going to send that out. And we'll kind of have fun with that. Boys, appreciate you immensely. Dean, I'm gonna keep your toes to the fire on that one. I'm gonna DM you every third day until I see you at a UFC building, and then you're gonna look up to me and I'm be like, we're gonna do the dap. Be like, I made it.
I got you, man. I'm gonna get you in, man. I know people, man. I know people.
I'll be in Vegas in 2 weeks, and whenever that is, Salt Lake City, I'll start.
Are you going to Salt Lake City?
I if I had media credentials, I would.
All right, let me see if you can still apply for them, and then
that might be too late. But yeah, the next one, I'm telling you, if you can make that happen, we'll start heading out there. Jillian the Savage Robertson fighting, and I think she's like 6 weeks out.
Yeah, November 9th against Luana Pinheiro. So she's gonna get another dub there. Look for another submission.
Yeah. Second.
Yeah, probably second. Hopefully the first though. I don't really like going in between rounds, man. I'd rather just get in, get it over with, go home, man.
I love it. Ryan, man, always appreciate you. So you're rolling at 5:30 a.m. I love that about you.
5:30 a.m. That's when we gotta train. We gotta get it in, right?
Hey, but don't keep it in, all right? Don't keep it in.
Rolling donuts. That's what he rolling. Yeah. Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, man. Ryan Quinn, D. Thomas, the Fight Court, Wednesday night. Check it out. Dave Van Auken, Fight Bananas. We're out. We'll hit you guys up. See ya. Cheers.
Later, guys. I'm out.